would disappear unless we seal them. So in the old masters era, the apprentice that did the transferring would now go into and go over all the lines with a little pointed brush and paint with sepia ink, brown ink, and then varnish the lines to seal the drawing, because drawing is the basis of painting. It tells you where the colors go, right? The lights, the darks, the background, everything like that. We're not gonna do that, we're just gonna use spray fixative. You guys ever use spray fix? Have you? No. Do you ever use spray fix? So what spray fix is, it's a varnish, a matte varnish that you can't see, it's invisible. When you spray it over drawings, it won't smear anymore, okay? It's gotten really expensive, but 20 bucks a can for fixative now, and it's pretty toxic, and the nozzles jam a lot. So we use hairspray. It's a lot simpler. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Yes, if it was good enough for Leonardo, he had beautiful, full hair of a hairspray. Yeah, we're gonna use hairspray, and we're gonna do some spraying, and I'll show you how we do it. I'm gonna go outside with you and show you, each of you, when you're ready. So we hold the can 2 feet away, and we do short strokes back and forth like this. Let pause, and then overlapping strokes until it's covered vertically, and then we do it horizontally, okay? Anyway, that's what you're gonna hold the can this far away. See how far away I am? A couple of feet away. One way, back again, stop. Pause. See how I'm pausing? Then just below it, do another one like that, 2 feet back. Okay. Then just below that, another one 2 feet back. So they're overlapping strokes. And the idea is that it doesn't look wet, and it's starting, see the wet? So I'm gonna stop now and just wave it in the air to evaporate a little bit, because it will evaporate. This is shooting up blood.
Wow, very good.
Okay, so I've done about, yeah, it smells nice, doesn't it? Okay, so I've done one vertical coat. So what we do now is we wave it in the air to evaporate it, and it'll dry pretty quickly. Then you turn it horizontally, and you're gonna do a coat horizontally. You are, okay? Okay. Same thing. Shake it. One way back, wait. One way back, wait. One way back, wait. One way back, wait. And then before you bring it in, wave it in the air, okay? For a good minute to take the smell off.
Only 2 times. That's okay.
No, what? How many times do you do this?
Yeah.
You do 1, 2.
No, I mean whole.
You do the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, only one time.
One way vertically, one way horizontally.
Okay.
Yeah. So every color you put on there is going to look too dark. So you might be correcting things as you go along. So the old masters didn't work on a white canvas. They would tone their canvases a color that would begin the process of beginning the color stage of the painting. And what they did is they would tone their canvas a color that is in the key of the painting. So if you look at this is very blue-green, isn't it? It's in blue-green. Look at this one. This is in the color of gold-brown. So the imprimatura, the toning color we put on was this one here. And you can see it helps to set the key for the rest of the painting. Some paintings are in the key of like orange-red. And some paintings are in the key of violet. And we would tone the color of the canvas that would lead us to that key. So up here on top of the wall here, are the main toning colors of the old masters that begins the imprimatura stage, which is the underpainting here, which leads to the final painting. So this is the underpainting done entirely in one color, monochromatic study of the values of the painting before you even bother putting color on. So that's where we're heading next. They are browns, and sometimes the old masters technique is referred to as the brown school of painting, because more often than not they used brown as their underpainting, and it gave it a sense of brownness. Why brown? Brown is one of the cheapest colors. It can be dug right out of the earth, right? And cleansed of its leaves and sticks and filtered so it's clean brown dirt and or soil. And then when you add linseed oil to it, which is actually crushed flax seeds, it becomes oil paint. And it's the cheapest of all the colors because it's dug right out of the ground. So it makes sense that they would do their underpainting in a color that's cheap because you don't see it most of the time. The next thing is brown is an organic color. So if you're the kind of painter that paints on a white panel and you have a blue sky, a red shirt, and green grass, it can look really gaudy. It doesn't look like it's in our world because we live in an organic world. So by putting a brown underpainting underneath our painting, this layer acts as a homogenizing layer, unifying all the other colors you put on top of it. So it brings them to earth. We don't live in paradise, we live here, and it can be very brown and gray, okay? So that's why we use it. Yeah, so it's organic, and the other reason they use browns, the fastest drying color of all of them. So these browns will dry overnight. If you used a blue or a red, it could take 2 weeks to dry before you could do your next stage of the painting. So it makes sense, right? These guys are smart, they take brown. Hello, how you doing? Okay, so that's why they use browns. This is the main brown they use. This is raw umber, which is a little bit, you're gonna be over here. And you're gonna take, I got it printed. So you're gonna take that up there, okay, on all 4 corners. Put the photo on first, put the tracing paper over top. Tracing paper is only taped on the top 2 corners, okay, to remind you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So brown, there's raw umber, and it's got a bit of green in it, dug right out of the earth, and there it is, raw umber. Great for landscapes, right, because it's already got a bit of that green. Great for this, because it's in the key of raw umber, really. When we heat raw umber, it becomes burnt umber. It actually becomes a dark orange. This is what they look like right out of the tube, how dark they are. And when we wipe them back, we can have that full range of values from 9 to about a number 3, which is what's on this one here. So raw umber, burnt umber, which we use a lot because most skin colors are gray down orange, so that always sets the key. This is raw umber with a bit of green, which makes it a greener raw umber, great for landscapes. This is a number 7 gray with a little bit of yellow ochre. It makes a great green. Bouguereau used that a lot. This is burnt umber, which is just like this one here. So this is burnt umber. And this is burnt umber with some red in it, and that's what Rembrandt would use. So this painting I was pointing to above the doorway in the other room is made from this one here. It's very red, okay? This one here is the burnt umber, there it is. Here's the raw umber, and here's the burnt umber, and you can see how they affect the colors in the end. So we're gonna use raw umber with the earth because, oh, sorry, I have to put more tape on, and then score it with your fingernail or it won't stick, you know, the tape itself. That tape seems to be sticking today as long as you score it with your fingernail. So we're gonna make a raw umber kind of green because there's a lot of green in here, okay? We're not gonna make it bluish, we're gonna make it like the majority of the skin colors are even greenish, okay? So anyway, that's what we're about. Okay, so raw umber is the second one in. And yeah, and you can see it already looks a little green. I think we'll put a little bit of green in it. So there's our raw umber. This is a tube ringer. We use this to get all the rest of the paint out. It saves you a lot of money in oil paint. Yeah, instead of using your fingers, yeah, these are really good. Metal ones are better than the plastic ones. Okay, we're just gonna put a little bit of green in there. We never put, when we're mixing colors together, never put the tube right into the other one, because of course you contaminate that. So it always just goes nearby, okay, like that. Maybe we'll put a little bit of blue in there too, just a little bit. A little bit of blue, because your painting has a little bit of blue in it, and this will help again with the key. We're in the key of browny, greeny blue. Okay, so now you're gonna mix paint. Are you a painter already? Have you used palette knives before? Okay, so take a look at me. This is a reminder of how you use a palette knife. A lot of lazy painters use a brush to mix paint. What a waste, because that brush can't be used to mix any other color, and now you have to wash that brush. So every color you made, if you use a brush to mix it, it's also contaminated with a lot of color. So we use palette knives to mix paint. When you hold a palette knife, don't hold it here. That's the working part of the knife. Hold it back here. Don't use the flat part of this. Use the tip of this. See the tip? Pull the paint together and flatten it. Squish. You mix by squishing, and look how high up my hand is from the paint, see? So I'm not gonna get paint on my hand, am I? Pull it together from all corners of the earth, flip it, squish it until it's all one color. Okay, that's your job. Try not to get paint on your hand, that's your other job. Good job. Yeah, see this area? The eye and everything that's in that area? You haven't shaded, and that's all dark, isn't it? Look at the eye. Sort of dark. So make sure you're shading right to the edge. Okay, lift it up and have a look at it. Now brushes for you new people are here, 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 and there. And they're all the same brushes. They're all 90% filberts, which are tongue-shaped. We use those mostly, okay? And all they are in different stages of decomposition, really, because as you use them, they get distorted and distressed, and they have other uses. Like that actually started as a really good brush like this, and ended up with a brush like that. Okay, so you'll see that we have different uses for them when you're painting. But for what you're doing today, we just need a big brush. So I'm going to go up here and get a big brush. Use this brush here. Okay. Do you want to watch this stay? Okay. Yeah, and shoes. Like, make sure your shoes are under this table. I had somebody do this, and they bought a brand new pair of gray suede boots, ankle boots. Beautiful, right? Like $300. Well, little brown dots all over them after the class. Be careful, you know, because you can get little dots.
See you in dark shoes.
Yeah.
What's that?
And old dark and old.
Well, just keep them under here. This is actually one of the messiest parts of what we do. Okay, and if you can't get red enough with that, you can actually put a little bit of orange in there, cadmium orange hue.
Oh, okay.
That'll help the color, but then you might have to put more raw umber. Okay, so we checked and this is fine. We're ready to go. You go in here and you grab this about 4 times. See, I'm using it like a ladle, like a spoon, and I'm putting 4 spoonfuls of mineral spirits there. So this is our solvent. And now I pull in pigment into it because I don't want it to be transparent. I'm trying to make something that has the consistency of melted chocolate. So I'm going back in here again a couple more times. I'm pulling in more of the pigment because I don't want it to be transparent. I actually want it to be very liquidy, but also dark. So that's what I'm doing right now, is pulling in all the liquids so that it's nice and dark. A little bit more. See the consistency? It's like melted chocolate. It's very liquidy, that's what you want, but at the same time, it's dark. So perfect, that's what you want. Each time you gotta make a little amount like this. Okay, then you go to your painting and you do an abstract expressionist painting like this. What we typically do are X's, see X's? You can do X's because it doesn't have to be solid with paint, that would be too much. That's a good amount, and we usually do an area about that big, and that's about it. Whenever you're done with a brush, never put it there. It'll just roll, it'll have it on the handle, it'll be on your hand, and it'll be on everything else as well. So that goes there. The next thing we do is grab a rag. I'm just gonna see it. Next thing we do is we grab a rag, and you wanna use a clean part of the rag, punch through it, make a soft pouch like a snowball, as if you found a bird on the road with a broken wing. You're taking it to the vet. Don't kill the bird when you wipe back. This is not about flattening it. This is about having a nice soft kind of a stroke. Also, don't have anything hanging down. It creates lines. So there's my nice soft snowball. Very, very subtly in circles. Circles, always circles, because it's organic. There it is. We've toned the canvas towards the color of the final painting. Okay? So that's why we do that kind of thing. So now, whenever we have a rag, always open it up and hang it over a rag or a hook. There's always a hook somewhere. And make some more of the liquid. So now I'm going back in again, pulling in some of the pigment, and I think you're okay to do another area. Whenever you wipe back, make sure you're wiping back using a white part of this. So in other words, don't use a part of this you just used, because it becomes abrasive and it'll take off too much. The harder you press, of course, the lighter and premature it will be, but we want it to have that level, okay? So lighten your touch when you're doing it. Okay, so go ahead and finish that. Okay. Okay. Now it's a little bit of a blob right here. So I'm just gonna do that area again. You haven't been pulling enough pigment. That's why it was starting to get transparent because you're too thin with the liquid.
Oh, okay.
There, it's not so bad there now. Okay. Okay. The next stage is not the funnest stage, but it has to be done. Somebody has to do it. Normally your apprentice would do all of this. You could just sleep in, you know, go have a big lunch and then come and check on your apprentice's work. But you are the apprentice now in the studio. You all have to go through this process. So now you have to do your line work one last time. And you're about to do it with a brush. So, we're going to use a line painting. So they are called rounds. They look like this. And when you get paint on them, they go to a fine point. Okay. So this is very wet. I don't want the really wet stuff, so I'm going to take some of that and put it on another palette. How's it going? You sorting it out? One is the other, and that's how it works. So you're saying that's all light. Okay, okay. Close that, no open spaces. If that's a light, and they look similar, don't they? There's no line between two things that are the same. Yeah, that's it. Squint, squint, squint. All right, so we don't want all this really wet. That's it, you got rid of the black. Yeah, that's all. All you have to do is make sure it's not black, but like a graphic line. And maybe, I would think as it turns, like you're very gray in this area, like these. I think that's part of the photo flaw. I think you should keep it a little bit pinker if you can. I can't see why it would go grayer as it turns the edge.
Yeah.
Just darker. Darker, but a little bit more color. That's all. Okay, so lines. This is how you do the lines. What you're gonna do is you're gonna load your brush up like this. Okay? Like this. See what I'm doing? I'm just pulling it. I'm not doing it like this. If I did it like this, I'm bending the brush. Don't bend the brush. Pull it back and load it. And then over here, look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drag it and I'm gonna spin it one way, spin it the other way, and lift off. Points the hairs and makes it, takes off the excess paint. You can't touch this. If you touch this, there would be a big white mark on there right now for several hours. So you can use the maul stick and you're gonna use this and you're gonna go over all the lines and dash lines. Okay?
All the line.
Yeah,
so,
all the
solely
line.
the line on the dash line. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world, right? We can take a look at it, but think of it as practice, okay? Every time you load it up, look at this.
Okay.
Look down here.
Okay.
Every time you load it up, you're going to do this.
Okay.
There should be hundreds of lines on here when I come over and look at you next.
Sure.
The maul stick goes in your